Hello and welcome to, well, actually, I guess it is the Solstice edition of Comet Watch. It's December. The show will be, you'll be listening to this before Christmas, trust me. And I'm in the United States at the moment. Mary's in the UK. Our guest is in the UK. And by Jove, isn't this fun? Sorry, I had to chuck in a quick Keith Floyd's clink as we say that.
Ho 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 and all.
Yes. So, as usual, Neil can't be with us. He's got a poorly child, so be back with us next month, I'm sure. So let's Mary and I get stuck into the Comets, the British Astronomical Association Comet Section Visual Observation page, as always. So I'm going to start off with the latest discoveries. November the 16th, Masanori Yuchino reports a Kreutz Group comet in real-time C2 images.
Then November the 17th, Masanori Yuchino reports another Kreutz Group comet in real-time C2 images.
November the 20th, Warchop Boomplod reports a Kreutz Group comet in real-time C3 images.
And November the 21st, Warshot Bloomplod reports a Kreutz Group comet in real-time C2 images.
November the 22nd, Warchop Boomplod reports two Kreutz Group comets in real-time C2 images.
November the 24th, Warchop Bloomplod reports a Kreutz Group comet in real-time C3 images.
Still with November the 24th, Masanori Yuchino reports a Kreutz Group comet in real-time C2 images.
November the 25th, discovery of 2019 V2 periodic Gruella reported.
On November the 25th, Warchop Boomplod reports a Kreutz Group comet in real-time C3 images.
And November the 26th, Masanori Yuchino reports a Kreutz Group comet in real-time C2 images.
November the 27th, Zaijian Zhu reports two Kreutz Group comets in real-time C2 images.
And November the 28th, Rainer Cracked reports a non-group comet in C2 images.
On November the 28th, Masanori Yuchino reports a Kreutz Group comet in real-time C2 images.
November the 29th, Warshot Bloomplod reports a Maya Group comet in real-time C2 images.
And it's December the 1st, Warchop Boomplod reports a Kreutz Group comet in real-time C3 images.
Then December the 2nd, Tregiv Pressgard reports a Kreutz Group comet in real-time C2 images.
December the 4th, Masanori Yuchino reports a Kreutz Group comet in real-time C2 images.
And December the 5th, Zaijian Zhu reports a Kreutz Group comet in real-time C2 images.
December the 6th, Warchop Boomplod reports a cracked 2-group comet in real-time C2 images.
And December the 7th, Masanori Yuchino reports a Kreutz Group comet in real-time C2 images.
And December the 8th, Warchop Bloomplod reports a Kreutz Group comet in real-time C2 images.
And December the 9th, Masanori Yuchino reports a Kreutz Group comet in real-time C2 images.
December the 8th, Warchop Bloomplod reports a Maya Group comet in real-time C2 images.
December the 9th, Masanori Yuchino reports a Kreutz Group comet in real-time C2 images.
December the 10th, discovery of 2019 X1 periodic prune reported.
And on December the 10th, Warshot Bloomplod reports a Kreutz Group comet in real-time C3 images.
December the 13th, Warchop Bloomplod reports a cracked 2-group comet in real-time C2 images.
And December the 14th was the last update.
Now, if there's no recent updates here on the BAA page, there's always the German Comet Group page or Yoshida's page for information, or you can go to the Liga Iberoamericana de Astronomía for observations. Wasn't that a mouthful? Okay, so moving on slightly. Yes, there's lots of Christmas cheer going on here. I'll have another one, please. So, Pan-STARRS 2017 T2, magnitude 10. It's bright, 90 degrees north to 30 degrees south, visible all night, and the last visual observation was, of course, on December 2019.
And then we have Assassin 2018 N2, currently magnitude 11.5 and fading, observable 90 degrees north to 25 degrees south. That's best viewed in the evening. Last visual observation, December 2019.
Then we have 260p McNaught, magnitude 12, fading, 90 degrees north to 10 degrees south, best in the early evening, and that was last visually observed in December 2019.
Then we have 68P Clamola, that's currently magnitude 12 and fading, observable 50 north to 45 degrees south. That's another early evening object, and last visual observation was October 2019.
Which leaves me with 209P Blanpine, magnitude 12, question mark, is bright, 55 degrees north to 55 degrees south in the evening, not yet observed.
And then we have everyone's favourite, 29P Schwarzmann Wachmann. That is magnitude 13 question mark. We all know that one varies. Observable 80 degrees north to 45 degrees south. That's best viewed in the evening. Last visual observation was November 2019.
And last but not least, Africano 2018 W2, magnitude 13, fading, 10 degrees north to 50 degrees south. It's an evening object, and last visually observed in November 2019. Anybody who's wondering what that noise in the background, it is Spider-Man Far From Home. Okay, so the observable region is an approximate indication of the latitude in which the comet may be seen. Obviously, under good conditions, comets may be visible outside this range. The period when visible is for the UK. If the comet is visible from the UK, otherwise for 40 south or the equator as appropriate. The last visual observation, obviously, is when received by the section. Details are often updated on the basis of observations published elsewhere. Beginners, however, will find comets of fainter than 7th magnitude difficult to locate. Go to this web page, which is on the BAA website, under the Comet section, for information on positions and finder charts. Well, some of the really good news, obviously, is Comet 2017 T2. It's just within binocular observation range, but it does need large binoculars. Oh my god, I can almost see Keith Floyd having a whale of a time with an innuendo for that one. Anyway, moving on. November observations continue to show that the visual observers estimate the comet brighter than those taking images, but the gap is narrowing. Visual observers using large apertures see the comet as fainter than those using small apertures. I'm not touching that one. The likely peak brightness suggested by using all the observations, visual and electronic, is about 8th magnitude. And of course, the really nice thing for us, it's going to be well placed until at least 2020 October. When it's at its best, it will be in the Northern Hemisphere object and circumpolar from the UK. There is a light curve below, and the magnitude given is, of course, based on the mean light curve. And the BAA welcomes observations from all comets enthusiasts, whether members of the BAA or not. And obviously, the advantage joining the BAA is you can read papers on comets published in the journal, and you can have much more in-depth access to the website. I think that covers that. Well, it's been quite a busy year. We didn't do a November show. Sorry about that, folks. But things have been busy. I started a new job, which didn't help. So hopefully next year will bring a better year and more comets for us. And maybe we should get back on track finally. And of course, we are still looking to do Comet Watch from the pub.
Yep, definitely on the
Sounds
cards.
good.
Oh yeah. Now we just got to find the right pub. Don't think there is one near me called the Astronomer's Arms, unfortunately. Oh well, never mind.
Damn.
Yeah. In fact, I've never seen a pub called the Astronomer's Arms either. Maybe I should open it and leave the staff to run it and just go outside and observe all night.
Yep.
You have to open one yourself.
This is very, very true.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
And she'll have something to do when it's cloudy as well.
Oh, I've got plenty of things to do. I finally cracked ACP. And if you know me on Facebook, then you'll have been seeing all the pictures I've been posting. Some of them are from my old favourite, beginning with the letter S, which I shan't name, because it might mean I'm giving an endorsement. Otherwise, I have been on a other big player in the rentoscope business, and I actually imaged a nebula, the Christmas tree nebula complex, as a written plan. I just thought that was quite impressive. It's taken me so
excellent.
long to do. Taken me long enough to do. But anyway, we have a special guest this week, or this month actually. Would our special guest like to say hello?
Hello, it's Stuart Atkinson from Kendal, which is in the cloudiest part of the cloudiest county in the UK. So not many comets in from Kendal in Cumbria, I'm afraid, but Now and
you,
again.
you
Now and
do
again.
get quite a few. You do get a lot. I know you do fight the clouds, though.
It's Cumbria Twinry of Mordor in terms of weather. It's just, seriously. I think the Titan astronomy group have more clear nights than we do here in Cumbria, but yes, it's frustrating.
Well,
Yeah, I don't miss that about Lancashire, I have to say.
yes, as I say, at the moment I'm in a built-up area. Yes, I've got clear skies at the minute, but light pollution.
Hmm.
And having said that, Mexico has done a very, very good job. They've actually passed laws which will be enforceable to deal with people who pollute.
Oh, good.
But
Well, when it's clear here, the skies are lovely and dark and starry, but it's underneath this conveyor belt of crud from the oceans and the sea, so we just get the cloud funnels in, and it's, honestly. But when it is clear, it makes up for it. It can be beautiful, but usually it's just technical term rubbish.
I have
your pictures are amazing, Stu. Sorry, Nick.
I was going to say I have fond memories of Crow Park.
Yes,
you can get away from there.
Yeah.
You can get some really nice skies, and of course, the further you go into the fells,
Yeah.
the better they get, because most of the villages have very little in the way of street lighting.
Well, I've driven down tonight from Cockermouth down to Kendal, coming through Keswick and Grassmere, and it was pitch black but cloudy, and of course Betelgeuse at the moment is fading, or has faded, and I was there with my camera ready, and nothing. Got to Kendal, now I'm on the phone. It's sparkly clear outside. So I'm waiting to go and get some red giant photos.
Well, you know why, Stuart, don't you? Because I bought a telescope.
Oh, well, thank you very much.
I bought a 16-inch Dob.
A 16-inch? Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that won't be a portable setup, will it?
Actually, it is. It is very portable.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah,
You don't
because
mean movable, not portable.
he can strip it down and assemble it in under 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I bought a Explorer Scientific Next Gen 2 Trust Dob.
Nice. I struggle to move our 10-inch Dobsonian, to be honest. I just can't. It's so heavy, I can't move it. It's on big wheels now. We've put it on a wooden base, and it's a lot easier to move around now.
Yeah, be careful, Mary. It might get mistaken for a Dalek. Particularly if there's a scope cover.
Yeah.
Okay. All the fun and games aside, welcome to the show. The last time we spoke, Stuart, was on Under British Skies, over 3 years ago. Wow. It's been quite a while since we actually did a show. I think we did one show recently, and that's been about it.
Mm-hmm.
But
well, one of the reasons that I was looking forward to chatting to Stu is that a lot of the comet observing that you do is with just a camera. And I think that's really inspirational for people that are just getting into this, because you don't necessarily need a massive telescope to be able to take pictures of comets. And I just thought it'd be really cool to get you on and chat about your setup and like the kinds of things that you do. And maybe we could put a link to some of Stu's pictures in the show notes or something.
We can do that. If Stuart wants to ping me some links later
Happily
on,
do that, yeah.
I can. Because what it is, the nice thing is by putting it, because it's on YouTube now, with the AFM website demise, I forced myself to learn how to make videos of radio shows. So the nice thing is, if Stuart can send us a picture, or even send us some of his pictures, I can put his pictures into the actual movie of the show.
Yeah, that'll work well.
But anyway, I'm gonna.
We can sort that out, definitely.
Yeah. So Mary, I know there's a couple of things. I know there's something you wanted to do before we went any further and chatted with Stuart. So over to you.
Yeah, a lot of people within the astronomy community will probably have heard the announcement that Andrew Davis passed away suddenly. It's quite a shock to everybody. Andrew, if you don't know him, was the guy that organised the Northwest Astronomy Festival. He used to run the Knowledge Observatory up in Lancashire, and then he moved over to France to run Astrofarm. I've been to Astrofarm 3 times to stay. Andrew, the work that he did with the Knowledge Observatory was so inspirational, and he was just such a nice guy, and it's just a real shock to the community and a huge loss to the community. I think he used astronomy as a means to teach other subjects to people that were underprivileged, and he's really, really changed people's lives. And just a lot of the friends I know really well that I class as good friends in the astronomy community, I've met because of events organised by Andrew. So I just wanted to kind of mention him because everyone who knows him is going to really miss him. I know, Stu, you yourself met Andrew a few times because you've done talks at Northwest, haven't you?
That's right, yeah.
So yeah, I just have so many happy memories, and I've learned so much from him over the years. And yeah, I just think it's I just wanted to kind of honour that. What's your favourite memory of him, Stu?
Just him being such a genuine guy and just generous. I mean, he had time for everybody. He was one of these people who always gives and gives and gives and takes very little back. If you're with him, you just couldn't help laughing and smiling. He's always ready for a big hug, and he just taught people, but lots of laughter and just sharing things. And we met him at the
you rarely
Star
saw
Camp
him
for the
without
first
a
time.
smile.
Yeah, he's just one of these people who's nice to be around. You learn things without even knowing you're learning things. But he held people together and brought people together, and it's a horrible thing, isn't it, really, to think you won't actually hear about Laugh again or have one of his raffles again that went on for like 4 years at Astrofest. We'll miss all those quirks about him, yeah.
It's the second kind of big person from the astronomy community that we've lost this year, the other one being Richard Bailey, so it's kind of a shock that we've lost both of them in the same year, really. So yeah, I just wanted to say rest in peace, Andrew, and thank you for the inspiration, and I hope everybody that learned from him will carry on paying that forward the way that he did.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. I've only spoken with him on Facebook, and he was a great guy, that's to say.
He was. So anyway, Stu, do you want to tell us a little bit about your kind of grab-and-go setup that you normally take off to
Well,
Kendal
it's back to weather, because the weather here is literally so bad, you can't plan for a clear night. It's a case, look out the window, oh, it's clear, grab a camera bag and tripod. And in my case, run up to Kendal Castle, or recently limp after my knee surgery. So, like, trek to Kendal Castle, and then just take photos as long as you can before the rain starts again. So I can't afford this hour-long setup, telescope, calibrate, collimate, align, blah, blah. I don't have time for that. I never got a chance to do that. So my astronomy, my photography is literally camera on a tripod, take photos as long as you can, and then when you get back home and dried off, stack them, process them, and make them look presentable. I've also got an Ioptron Sky Tracker, so I do quite long exposures sometimes, then stack those. But it's really keep it simple, and I find that works well for me.
It does. I mean, the pictures are really good. It's great to see what comets actually look like wide field, because, press always lead with stories with these amazing pictures taken by Hubble of something. It doesn't give you a realistic expectation of what you're going to see.
Right.
And so, what camera do you have?
Every time there's a new one discovered, they show these artwork, don't they, of like a streaming tail and bits flying off.
Yeah.
And actually,
don't ever see
no, it won't look like that at all. So most of my pictures are literally like out of focus fuzzy balls with a hint of a tail to them.
There's quite a lot of colour in them quite often too, I've noticed. So you do see the green in them.
Green comes out really well, yeah. I'd like to have another hell bop in the sky to get some blue and some yellow. I think we'd all like that, wouldn't we?
Yeah.
But recently there's been lots of little green fuzz balls. So yeah, I mean, on a
bit of a dearth.
Yes, it's been a big gap, hasn't it? I mean, hopefully 2020 will be the year of a great comet. We're long overdue one, aren't we? So that'll be nice.
Definitely. So what
if
camera do
Betelgeuse
you
won't
have?
blow up, maybe a big comet.
What camera is it that you're using? Is it Stu? Is it? I can't remember.
I'm on a Canon 700D.
Okay.
Just on a normal tripod. And occasionally I put it on my Ioptron Sky Tracker, so then I can take time exposures, like maybe 2-3 minutes. If I've got it totally calibrated, aligned, and all screwed into, I get to 3 minutes tracking on a 300mm lens. So I can get quite good detail, but mainly I'm doing a 50mm lens, or my trusty old M42 mount 135mm Soligo lens, which is built like a battleship cannon. And infinity means infinity. You clunk that, it's going no further than that.
Right.
And that's my go-to lens, really. And given a good comet, pause for laughter, I can get some nice pictures with that setup. So.
Oh, it's brilliant.
I have to admit, I really do like the way you do your work. I'm one of the boring guys. I go onto a whacking great telescope. When the weather's terrible, I log in, go onto a telescope halfway around the world to grab images. But the way you do it is really it's impressive because you don't have to me you don't have the advantages of or the amplification a telescope would give. But then again, with the type of lenses you're using, I know that one of my friends, who's part of the Baker Street Irregulars, he originally was doing large lenses and bridge cameras to image some of the more brighter nebulae and galaxies, and we're using them on the moon. So yeah, I really understand, and I think it's really great when people can do it that way, given the fact, most of us are kind of I'll go pull the telescope out tonight. So, yeah, it really does make me go, wow, that's a picture when I get to see them.
Well, Stu, I know you do workshops as well on photography, and one of the things I cannot abide when I get asked to go and do an astrophotography talk is this misconception that you need X amount of thousands of pounds worth of equipment to do astrophotography. Yeah. And it just shows that you don't have to have a telescope and you don't have to have a 4D Mark V or whatever. You can get some really good stuff with simple equipment if you know how to use it.
Yep. I mean, with my 135mm lens on a good night tracking, I can get gorgeous pictures. And then you can stack them, process them, and get some more detail. But even just single shots, if it's a decent binocular comet, say, the subtlety really comes out on a picture like that. So when it works, it works.
I think a wider field view is quite nice sometimes, especially if there's conjunctions going on, because the close-up ones are great, but you don't have anything else as scale. I mean, was it Comet Vertanen last year, 46p? The coma was absolutely huge, but you didn't really get a sense of that unless you had like a frame of reference, like part of the constellation. Yeah, it's quite important.
I'm going to go
sometimes.
back further in time to Comet Holmes. It was like everybody was taking pictures of it, and they had the close-ups of the comet, but very few people were actually bothering to go for wide field. Because once you actually had the wide field image, particularly with some of the stunning spectaculars that Comet Holmes passed, then you really got to appreciate the comet for what it was.
Yeah, I mean, I do lots of outreach work in schools and with community groups, and you need wide scale because people don't know the scale of a comet if it's just a comet on the screen. If you've got a tree there, or a church spire, or a hill, you can say, look, it's actually really small, because you get this impression from the media, again, that comets are these great big balls in the sky with long streaming tails. So actually, look, if you just see a little smudge near that bush, that's the comet. And it's like, oh, now I know what to look for now. So it can be quite useful, actually.
I think that's one of the things that I like about wide field imaging, is because sometimes the comet is a very small smudge with a little bit of a blurry tail.
Yep.
And against the stellar background, it makes it perhaps even more appreciated. But
I think last year I reprocessed it a few days ago.
Oops. We have a slight technical hitch here. Bear with 1 second, folks.
My phone died. I think it might be running out of juice here.
That's
I'm on
okay.
like a handset, a hands-free one. So
yeah, that's okay.
Right.
So I managed to. As soon as I heard the disconnect on, I put us on pause for the recording, and so we could come back in. We were discussing the fact that the really small coma and a really blurred tail against a nice stellar background really does make people realise what it is they're seeing.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I know I've just mentioned 46p, but I reprocessed because it was just a year since I last took the picture of it in conjunction with the Pleiades, and I reprocessed that. And even though it wasn't super close to the Pleiades, just seeing that coma almost the same size as the Pleiades was actually, quite amazing. And you don't get that when you just do it with a telescope really close in. And you can often miss tail as well. Sometimes the tail goes way beyond the field of view of your camera, so wide field can look really cool when you've got a big tail too.
Yeah. I like my wide field because the scale is important. Also, you get the nice colours as well. You compare like the red of Betelgeuse, say, or Rigel to the colours of the comet. I think that makes quite a nice picture as well.
Yeah, definitely. So what would you say have been your comet highlights, Stu?
Oh, watching Comet Hale-Bopp rising from the middle of Castle Stone Circle near Keswick. Standing in the middle of this like 4,000-year-old stone circle, watching the twin tails rising up from behind the hills. Before that, Comet Hyakutake, I went out with a friend into the fells, totally cloudy night, not a hint of a comet in sight, and we saw this gap in the clouds, and we thought it was actually a car headlight coming over a hill. And then the cloud cleared of this massive, great beam of light in the sky from the comet's tail. And he just stood there thinking, oh my God, look at that. And that was quite special, yeah. But one other one, up at Kendal Castle, one of the Lovejoy comets, at a public comet watch night, we were showing people these comets, and it was very faint, just like a little smudge. And a little girl looked into the eyepiece by telescope, she looked up, she goes, it looks like a fairy.
Oh.
And I thought that was brilliant. The adults were all, is that me? But the little girl said, it looks like a fairy. And I thought, yeah, that's why we do this, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
So, sharing, like Andrew Davis always did do, like sharing.
Yeah.
I think that's perhaps the best thing about astronomy is we can share sites that most people wouldn't get a chance to see, particularly with star parties and stuff. Particularly, I know Castle Rig. I've been there before myself, so yeah, that must have been really atmospheric.
And less light pollution in those days too. I mean, up there now it's like an oil rig from the lights from Keswick. But in those days, when I friends had so years ago, 30 years, it was just really dark. And seeing the tails rising first, that was quite special.
Yeah, it's a shame really, but there's still some decent dark sky places in the UK. South Downs, even where I live, I've got reasonably dark skies. The house I live in blocks the street lamps beautifully. All I need to do is make sure that my security light doesn't come on, and I've got decent dark skies. I can see quite a lot of stars once I let my eyes get dark adapted. So it's still possible.
We go to Kielder twice a year to the star camps up at Kielder.
Oh yeah,
and when it's clear there, it's absolutely stunning. When it's raining, it's evil.
Yes, I know. I've been to Kielder, particularly on a night where it was so clear that...
Oh, we've lost him again.
We've lost him again. And we're back. We're having a problem sometimes connecting with Stuart, but we are going to fix this. I am not going to have another lost show. Speaking of lost shows, I've actually figured out how to get the September show back, so that will be up online as well. Boy, I've been busy. Anyway, you would go on, Mary.
You was just talking about outreach, wasn't you? And I know one of the things that the kids loved when I did that was making a kind of fake comet. I obviously didn't have access to dry ice, but just making a dirty, gravelly, frosty, muddy ball and keeping it in the freezer till I took it in and explained that's what comets actually look like. I think comets are a great opportunity for explaining stuff to kids, and so you do a lot of that kind of thing with meteorites as well, don't you, Stu?
Yeah. And dinosaur poo.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I show these kids a big piece of Canyon Diablo meteorite, and then a bit of the moon and a bit of Mars, and said, what's this mystery object? And we all smell it, and some lick it, and then I think it must be a meteorite. No, bit of moon, no. When you tell them what it is, the whole class goes, ugh! And that's hilarious.
Yeah.
And the teachers holding their head in their hands in absolute disgust and despair, so that's always fun as well.
But the thing is, though, it's all related. We're all star stuff, and everything is linked, really, back to the beginnings of the universe, I suppose. Really, 'cause we exist due to supernovae spreading the elements that in the end formed us. So, yep, I can see the connection. I bet even James Burke could make the connection between dino poo and meteorites and everything else.
Yeah, very
I have a piece of Murchison which I think contains comet grains, so I can actually hold a bit of comet sometimes.
Really?
Yeah, I'll show you that next time I see you, Mary. You can't see them, but they're in there microscopically, apparently.
Yeah.
Wow. So yeah, I've got a tiny bit of comet in the corner where the cat's at the moment. So.
Oh, that sounds amazing. Now Jeff's guarding it for you.
Oh, you know Jess, yeah, she won't let me do anything on my own, so.
Okay. How did you get started?
When I was at junior school, the Apollo missions were on, and the big school television got wheeled out in front of a whole group. So, right, watch this, it's important. And I was just hooked from that first minute. And it was always space since then, and science and astronomy. And I've just grown up with the shuttle and the space station and my own astronomy, looking at planets.
Ow. Are you still with us, Stuart? Oh, here we go.
No.
Yeah, because for me it was always Patrick, James, and Arthur who got me going. It was Patrick explaining how you could look at the moon. James, who was there with all the interesting little bits of knowledge, and of course Arthur saying how science fiction was becoming science fact. That's my recollection of Apollo, unfortunately.
I was the kid who hid in the school library reading books instead of playing football outside. I was like the geeky kid who was looking at the Observer's Book of Space Flight and Observer's Book of the Night Sky instead of kicking the ball around. So that was me.
That was me. I was like that too.
So I was going to say, was that your inspiration for writing The Cat's Guide to the Night Sky then? Was like you wanted other kids to hide in the library reading like you did?
I hope they are, yeah. The inspiration was literally a cat. I mean, at Kielder Star Camp, looking at the night sky with a cat in my arms, and she was looking at the sky too. And that inspired it, yeah. But mainly I wanted to write kids' books that I'd like to have read as a kid myself, because modern kids' books are very complicated, a lot of them. And I thought I'd just pare it right down, make it nice and pretty, nice and simple, and get kids looking at the night sky.
It's very informative, though. It's not dumbed down at all. I was
no,
really
there's lots of science in it, yeah.
Yeah, it's really good.
I'm hoping to do one about comets eventually, just for kids, counter the media hype and nonsense that's going on.
Yeah.
That would be brilliant.
A Cat's Guide to Comets.
Yep.
Yes.
Because they compare comets to cats, don't they? So they've got to tell and do exactly what they want.
That's
so
exactly true.
There's a shoe-in right there, really.
Definitely.
But still, I actually did manage to find the Observer's Book of Astronomy online, so I've got my copy back again.
Which year?
Which year, he says. So, isn't it nice I can actually go straight to it?
No, organised. Not set up at all.
My life, 1962.
Very good.
So it's a year older than I am.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Pluto, just a dot on a picture.
Yep. It's still a planet.
Always will be.
And of course, the other book I have close by me right now is Meow. We know who wrote that one. I enjoy reading that every now and again. It makes makes me smile. I like cat books. I like cats. I like dogs.
Oh, you'll love mine then.
I am planning to have observatory cats. Probably pick. Don't know. I haven't quite decided on the names, but I think one of them may be Patrick. I suspect if it's a male.
Yeah, he always loved cats, didn't he?
Yep.
So what was the first comet you observed or imaged, Stu? Can you remember?
Comet Iras Araki Alcock. about 1983, I think it was. That big puffball went right through the Little Dipper. I was living in Cockermouth then. I went to a lay-by, and it was just there in the sky. Didn't need to look for it, just like this, like a green chalky smudge in the sky near the bowl of the Little Dipper, and watched that moving for a couple of nights. Back in those days when we had clear skies in Cumbria, and that was amazing. Yeah, that was my first one really. I mean, Halley's in 1986, which wasn't brilliant, but I did see it, and I watched that through my 3-inch Tasco reflector for a few weeks. I found it on Bonfire Night in 1985. There's a little smudge near the Pleiades. That was quite a moment afterward, looking for years and years and years to see it.
Yeah,
I watched it moving through the sky, and then... Sorry?
I never did see that one.
You didn't miss much.
No.
Well, I saw it in one of two ways. I did the proper way, and I did it the high-tech way, because my company provided some of the equipment on Giotto.
Oh.
So those of us who had actually spent a reasonable amount of time working on the engineering of flight model stuff, were bundled into the company boardroom. We were given stacks of snacks and stuff, and we were watching the feed live from Darmstadt. And guess who was on the feed? So yes, we had the feed from Darmstadt live. We didn't have the interrupted by other events feed, but yes, we got to see Patrick discussing the whole thing and everything. So that's my memories, and of course then it went on to Greg Skellerup, and this showed you what a wonderful little probe Giotto was, even though it was technically blinded during the penetration of the coma. It's just one of those things, I guess. Then, of course, I started getting really serious about it. Started buying better telescopes. I've still got I don't have my Tasco refractor that claims it will show me Andromeda in all its glory.
You believed the box, didn't you?
But I still have my 4.5-inch Tasco reflector. I moved on to a 10-inch Meade Star Finder, which I miss. Then I got a Celestron C10, and now I have the 16-inch Dob, which is going to be, and is one of those going to be interesting because I'm going to be fitting Argo Navis and Stellarcat Junior to it, and a cat's got into the conversation again.
Yay!
But it's going to be interesting.
So you do actually have a telescope, don't you, Stu?
Yeah, I've got a 4.5-inch Celestron reflector, which is now collimated thanks to somebody at Hilda Starkamp. It was cross-eyed for a long time, literally cross-eyed. Pointing at Andromeda, you look at the Pleiades in the eyepiece, it was just shocking.
Oh dear.
But now it's up and running and ready for the next bright comet in the sky.
Yes.
Yeah, not looking promising for much of that at the moment.
Well, it depends how you define a bright comet. A bright comet to an imager is probably anything down to 13th, 14th magnitude.
Yeah,
but
it's,
to a visual observer,
we've actually found 2017 T2 quite a challenge to pick up. Actually, I couldn't find it with my binoculars at all yesterday when I was out. I know my husband did some imaging of it last night, and I did some wide field shots, and I'm struggling to find it in the wide field, so I need to look again.
I managed to photograph it 2 weeks ago, and it was near Capella. That's the last time I actually saw it. So yeah,
nice. There are some nice conjunctions coming up with that comet, though. So it's going to be near the double cluster, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's going to be really close to 2 Mag 9 stars on the 4th of January. So that'll be pretty if it's doable, if it's not cloudy.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah. So I know you've said your comet highlights, but do you have a favourite comet?
I mean, Hale-Bopp was just ridiculous because I was living up in Cockermouth then, and it was lots of clear weather over that spring, and I was watching it night after night after night. Organised public star parties for that, and I had probably 100 people at a sports field looking at this comet hanging over the trees, and it was just beautiful. this
It
great
was stunning,
V shape of
wasn't it?
light in the sky. And you knew that when you went outside after dark, it would just be there. And it was very, very special. Hayakasaika was amazing because it was so big and so long, but the weather wasn't very kind. But Hale-Bopp was just in the sky. Here I am, look at me again, and the next night, and the next night, and the next night. And in those days, I was using an old film camera, and it was a case of take your film camera, get the photos into Boots, wait for the envelope to come back, and then, yeah, a different world in those days.
Yeah, slightly.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Oh, we processed your film. We couldn't see anything on it.
It comes back, you have got dust on your lens. No, they're stars. Miss Spencer looks like that. Or these are underexposed. No, that's called a dark sky.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, now we just take hundreds and hundreds of pictures
I
and
know.
just delete the bad ones.
Yeah.
It's quite scary, isn't it?
Or you do what I just did this afternoon, download 433 megabytes of data. I went mad. I used every filter the scope had. Well,
Now on a clear night we can easily we can hit 50, 60 gigabytes of stuff
Really?
if we're doing because particularly if we're doing stuff with the CMOS video cameras, moon mosaics, you can easily just have 60 gigs on one moon mosaic. It's frightening how quickly you start filling storage.
oh, not again.
No.
3, 2, 1. Okay, we're back. We had a brief break because of technical issues, but we are ploughing on. So I believe when we stopped, we'd all been discussing telescopes and Hawley's Comet back in '86, and how they'd seen the encounter with Giotto. So, right. How would you suggest somebody sets up to image comets, Stuart?
oh, well,
From your
basic
point of view.
DSLR camera. Sorry?
From your point of view.
From my point, yeah.
Yeah.
A DSLR camera on a tripod, 50mm lens, wide open, pointed towards your comet, take 4 seconds to high ISO and just see what you get, and then adapt to taste. Make sure everything's tightened up, nice rigid tripod, make sure your focus is nice and sharp, and just experiment, because as you said before, we're not wasting film these days. We can take hundreds of photos per night. Just experiment and just basically, technical term, mess about and just see what comes out the other end.
I think the nice thing about DSLRs is that we've done away with hyperizing films.
Yeah.
I remember it came up in school because we had a photography club, and somebody was being a know-it-all and brought the subject up. Not me, thankfully, because I wasn't really into it at that point, into imaging and stuff. But the teacher who was running the photography club says, "Oh my God, messing around with chemicals and films to get them to work better for you is kind of like having a potential disaster of an explosive kind in your home."
Bomb club.
Yes. It always got me how no one ever actually got visited by the plot for the chemicals we were ordering to be sent to our homes, so that we could make our films super sensitive for deep sky imaging.
No, my first camera was a Praktica manual DSLR with film, and that got me using Fuji 1600 ASA slide film, which was state-of-the-art in those days. And to save for like 2 weeks to buy a roll of that.
Yeah.
And then you might get maybe 2 or 3 useful slides out of a roll of 36, which wasn't cheap.
No.
We are spoiled now, but I think basically just take your DSLR, plonk it on a tripod, and just aim at some stars and just learn from experience. It's like anything else in my hobby. In astronomy, it's a good experience hobby. You learn by doing.
Absolutely.
And just see what works. And if it doesn't work, try it a little bit different. I actually suggest people to look at the Orion Nebula with the camera. Treat that as like a fake comet. I mean, if you can get that in focus and show some detail, then you're going to get a good comet photo as well.
I remember the Praktica cameras. I've still got. I think I've seen it somewhere. I've still got my Canon 250.
Yeah.
Knocking around, and I've got the lens for it as well. We had.
Yeah.
But
I'm always hunting for M42 mount lenses for my Canon, 'cause I've got an adapter ring for the Canon, and those lenses were built to actually work. I mean, my 135mm lens, it's an amazing, it's just perfect glass, and it's jet black metal, and you clunk that aperture ring round, and it's like lining up a warship gun. And when that's on Infinity, it is going nowhere. It's not going to slip, it's not going to slide. You are going to get crisp photos. And then that's my favourite Comet lens, that.
And we all wanted Carl Zeiss lenses, didn't we, in those days?
Oh, my Soligo's not bad. I don't mind my Soligo.
Actually, most of them, I think the one camera lens I use for taking images of the moon is a Tamron, and it's, I can't remember the exact. Let me think. I know I've got it on my Flickr, because I refuse to let Facebook actually now manage my pictures, because they do such a terrible job to it. Hey, here we go. Here's one of my moon pictures. Let me just trying to see if it tells me what the lens was. So
did you say you could put that other lens on your camera, or you're looking for an adapter for one?
No, I have an adapter ring already.
You do
I've
have
got
one,
an adapter
okay.
ring online, yeah. So I've got a few different M42 lenses I can use. But the 135 is just magical, really. The Ioptron tracker is very good as well. I've got one of these Sky trackers, and I can have that set up in.
Star Adventurer, and they're so easy to set up, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, I can set mine up in about 2 minutes flat, and I'll be taking photos. See, at Kielder Star Camp, got this amazing array of telescopes, and people setting up a lining, and I'm taking photos after they're still like getting their box out of the car. Really, they're really quick to use. But I say on a good night, if it's all aligned and tightened up and horizontal, I can get 3 minutes on a 300mm lens, so it's like having a little telescope on a comet. I get some gorgeous, I can get the dust lanes in M31 really clearly. Different details in Meridian Nebula. I managed to get the Witchhead Nebula from Kielder back in October.
Wow.
So I'm waiting for a really good, I got this tracker after the last decent naked eye comet, because it was so far up. Will we one again soon? Yeah, I'll get one of those, and then there wasn't one again soon, but I'm ready for next time.
Those trackers are great for doing Milky Way photography, though, aren't they?
Oh, yeah. You've seen my composites I do from different places, and I've seen the ones you do as well.
Yours are better than mine.
I just think that when the next bright comet comes along, we'll all be so much better prepared, won't we? We've got all our trackers and cameras and DSLRs now, and we can stack things. I mean, if Hale-Bopp arrived tomorrow night, imagine the fun we'd have and the photos we'd be taking.
I still enjoy reprocessing old comet data as well, because it just hones the skills. Every time I do it, I do a better job of it. So
I have to admit, if another Hale-Bopp arrives tomorrow night, I shall be very, very annoyed. I shall be writing to the comet god saying, "How dare you? I'm out of place. My telescope isn't ready, and I don't even have my DSLR because I don't carry it
photos
anymore."
For you, don't worry.
No,
did you find what you was looking for on Flickr, Nick?
No, I didn't, because normally it tells me all my XIF information on the pictures. All it's telling me, because I know it's a Tamron. I know that I actually focus it in manual and then switch it to auto to the last little bit, because it's a wacky. I think it's a up to 700mm. It's heavy, and I bought it years ago. And the last time I used it was actually on 1st of December. I believe, because show more stats, maybe that would tell them. That doesn't tell me what I want. But anyway, it's a very nice lens because of the fact that it's a zoom lens, and it lets me get away with literally photographing it handheld. All my tripods are here in the States, and I'm slowly moving everything over, including my radios.
It's a big job moving to a new continent.
Well, back to the old continent.
Back to a new continent,
yeah. But as I say, it's really, really weird because the information. Oh, this has really annoyed me now because it's something that is. I think it's a 50 to 700 zoom lens. When it's cranked out at infinity, that's when I switch it back to automatic mode, just to tighten it up a little bit on the old focus. But I haven't even got one of the posher ones that people use one of the sixes. It's actually an XSI Canon, but it does the job. But
Yeah, I mean, I'm only using 1100Ds, and we have 5 of those now. But they're a great little camera. They're easy to use, and I think it's important that it's easy enough to use in the dark, and you can set up quickly.
That was my first Canon 1100D. Yeah.
Yeah, because once you know how to do everything with your eyes closed, you can set up in no time when you're kind of rushing out because the sky's cleared. You don't want, like as you said before, Stu, you don't want to be sat there for an hour getting the camera set up. So
I think that's where beginners go wrong. They assume that when you're taking photos, it's going to be light. You need to know your camera back to front. So it's almost like a soldier getting the rifle assembled in the dark. You've got to know by touch where each button is.
Yeah.
I do photography workshops up at Kielder with the star camps, and people don't know how the cameras work. They don't know where the film setting is, where the aperture is. They say, "Oh, well, I don't usually see these." So you've got to learn your camera first, and take it from there.
So
I see that as well.
But
With camera clubs, when I get invited to do star trails workshops and stuff, and people don't even know, in a camera club, they don't even know how to change the ISO on their camera. They've never
what do
done
you mean by
anything.
live screen?
Yeah, and they don't know what manual is. They've never done anything other than point and shoot with it, and that's really. I guess my SLR's autofocus never worked since I got it, so I've only ever do manual.
Okay, so actually my camera's a Rebel
I
XS.
don't ever use automatic anything. Okay.
But like I say, if I'm going to use it for astronomical images, I'll set it up during the day. I'll get up in the morning, set everything up, put it into the Radio Shack, and then go to work. All I've got to do is just it'll be nice and cool. It's ambient already. Then it's just a case of putting it where I want to. And I'll be honest, I don't mess around with the ISO set with the actual buttons on the camera. I just jack it into my laptop.
Oh yeah.
I use Backyard EOS and let it. That way, it's all on my screen.
Great program.
And I can just sit there and I says, yes, I want. Let's just tweak the focus on that a little bit, thank you. And I can do it. I'm not creating any shake on the mount.
I do like doing that from home, but if I'm going out somewhere, I don't really want to have to lug my laptop out and have yet another battery to go flat on me.
See, I'm super low tech. If it was clear now, I would be grabbing my camera bag and tripod and heading up to Kendal Castle, which is a 10-minute hike up a rather steep hill. And then I've got all my lenses. I would be trying like 6 different lenses. It's like in, out, try that. So it's quite frantic beginning photography because you want to get wide field shots and you want to zoom in a little bit. And I've got a castle as well, which is a lovely foreground to have for any sky shot at all. So what I really want is another great comet with Kendal Castle in the foreground and the tail arcing right over it. That would do me.
Now,
yeah, that'd be happy.
changing the lens in the dark, not a problem.
No. If you know your camera, if you know where your lenses are, but you need to know the experience. You see, because if you drop a 400-pound zoom lens in the dirt, that's not a good night.
No, it's definitely not.
No.
But you need to know where everything is on your camera, so you can actually just change things and get advantage. Especially, as I say, the weather, it can change so quickly. It's a race against time often.
In fact, one of the things I like about Tamron is the fact they put this nice white fluorescent dot to let me align it on the body. So it's going back to knowing your camera really, because I know this has got to be roughly in that plane, and then you can gently offer it up and just give it a little twist, and then normally you've got it enough that it will actually grab it and take it home and secure it. So Nice. That's what I like about
And
DSLRs.
yeah. The other thing is knowing the sky, isn't it? I mean, many
Yeah.
people who are into astronomy, they're into astronomy in a high-tech way. And if you tell them there's a comet tonight in Cetus, they'll know where it is because they're spending all the time on a laptop and looking at coordinates things. So you've got to know where to point your camera. And
True.
if you don't know the sky, you're a loser from the start there, really.
And the way
That's
I
the
learned,
basics.
the way I learnt the sky was actually from a Patrick Moore audio tape and a star
Yeah?
map. It was a Sky at Night
And binoculars.
audio tape, which I copied onto CD via my computer, and so I've got two MP3s. I've got winter going into spring, and summer going into autumn and winter. And it starts actually, ironically, in winter. Side one was winter to spring, and I used to listen to that for ages. That's probably the reason I copied it onto the computer, was because that way it can't wear out an MP3. But a good star chart, and before you start getting out the toys, spend a few evenings sitting there with a star chart and literally star hopping.
Mm-hmm.
Because in a lot of cases, you might, if it's a bright comet but there's no tail, you're going to know where it is, because suddenly you're going to have a constellation that looks all wrong. But it's knowing that constellation is wrong in the back of your mind.
That's why I admire manual comet hunters so much, because they know the sky so well that they can spot something tiny that shouldn't be there. I really admire that.
Then, of course, you get the really bad news that all you find is a nova or a supernova. But if you've got any sense, you report it, because you might just have be the first person. Not likely, but you can always hope.
Well, all eyes are on Betelgeuse at the moment.
Yes,
So.
Betelgeuse is causing a lot of people sleepless nights. Not
It definitely looks. It is a lot fainter. We caught a glimpse of it coming down from West Cumbria tonight in the car, and Orion does look wrong. You're used to seeing Rigel blazing and Betelgeuse top upper corner bright. It's nowhere near as bright as it was.
No, I took a picture
sort of
last
Castor and Pollux
night.
brightness now. So
Yeah, it's interesting. I did a little composite today. I don't know if you saw it. Of
I saw that. Yes, yeah.
Yeah, two different pictures of Orion from a few years ago, and there's a marked difference when you put them side by side like that. But I think it's probably just part of it. It's a variable star, isn't it? So I think it's just part of its cycle. That it's a cycle we don't fully understand. I don't think it's anything sinister.
Someone said it was going to explode. We were getting washed in neutrinos by now. We're not picking that up. So it's just it's an anomaly. It's interesting. Yes, people look at the sky. Can't be bad.
Yeah, definitely.
It's just weird seeing something you're so used to being so steady and reliable looking different.
Well,
yeah, because we don't really see changes in constellations in our lifetime, so it is quite weird to see something look so different.
And of course, the thing is, what really threw me out was that Aldebaran is actually slightly brighter now than Betelgeuse, and that really does do my head in.
Yeah.
But again, like it's getting people looking at the sky. Suddenly, there's this thing everybody's talking about. Betelgeuse has gone very, very dim. Everybody's panicking. Oh, we're going to have a supernova. Of course, certain tabloids are doing the doom and gloom already. It's going to incinerate the Earth and all that type of stuff. Don't quite see it somehow.
No, I despair.
I put a very simple finder chart on Twitter, and it had 1,500 views in about half an hour. So people do want to know where the star is, which is good.
Yeah, that's good.
But I suppose the other thing, of course, the sad thing is that you're going to see this wonderful comet tonight. It's naked eye. No, it's not.
No.
You need at least 20 by 80 binoculars to see it. Either that, or I'm looking in the wrong place.
Or Comet Bingo. Comet will light up the sky.
Yes.
Dazzling light display.
There will be
celestial showpiece. All these buzz phrases. You could. I did do actually a bingo scorecard once for Daily Express. Reports on comets, and it's just the same thing again and again and again. Or they're going to skim past Earth, and NASA boffins are concerned Okay.
Well, they were concerned about the one that skimmed past Mars, and everything. Suddenly, all the space probes all did a hasty retreat to the far side of
Mm.
Mars, which was sad, really, because it'd probably been some terrific science if they all hadn't gone safety conscious and moved there. I suppose the other thing.
One of the rovers got a photograph.
Exactly, yeah.
Opportunity actually got a photograph from Mars' surface, yeah. So we did get a photograph of a comet from the surface of Mars taken by a Mars rover.
That's pretty cool.
And of course, the other one is the Geminids are going to be so spectacular tonight that it'll light the sky up. Yes, in your dream, sunshine.
Yeah, when they were doing that about the monocerotids, and it's kind of like, unicorn will light up the sky. It's like the ZHR for that equated to about 2 an hour, and it's like, get a grip. It's just nonsense. But you mentioned probes there, Nick. Stu, we normally ask our guests the opinion of the Rosetta mission, because I know you're quite into your space exploration. So what did you think about that? Was you following Rosetta and Philae?
Oh, I followed it from day one, yeah. Followed it right through the approach. I was actually sat here on the floor with my laptop, looking at the pictures coming in live. I was looking at pictures every single day before going to work and coming back again and following mainly the nav cams, because the Osiris photos weren't as forthcoming as they could have been, at first anyway. But the pictures were stunning, yes. And I was doing processing on those and composites and montages and things. So yeah, I followed it closely. I do talks on the Rosetta mission, which always go down really well.
We got some great images, didn't we, from that mission?
Stunning landscapes, yeah. And when little Philae did eventually die, it was very upsetting, because you follow these things and you invest in them.
Oh, yeah.
And you watch them being built and designed, and then the people who are in them, you know them through television and now through Twitter and Facebook. Yeah. So you get personally invested in these things. They're not just names on a computer, they're actually things you've lived through and lived with. So, but Rosetta was a triumph. I think it was Europe's Apollo, to be honest. It achieved so much with so many results coming in.
I think Europe's Apollo is actually coming up with the Comet Interceptor missions. 3 satellites out at the Lagrange points, ready and willing to intercept the next comet that comes by. Why couldn't they have done this for Borisov? For I2? Gosh, if we'd had them ready for I1 or I2, that would have been such a science spectacle. But it's kind of interesting that ESA is doing the Comet Interceptor mission as one of its millennial missions, and it's really good in a lot of respects. It just shows you how powerful Rosetta really was. And everybody, it was sad about Philae, but Philae taught us so much about what it's like to be about the microgravity environment actually on the surface of a comet. And that was probably the biggest thing. We didn't really know just how much gravity there was going to be there, and just how much was needed to actually affect a landing. I think everybody must have been playing that game that ESA put up on the website, the Philae Lander game. That was hilarious. If you were a little bit too rough, you bounced off and never seen again. And the sarcasm, do you want to try again?
I just thought the whole kind of cartoon strip that they did was brilliant as well. I mean, I cried. I was doing the ironing when Philae actually rendezvoused with the comet, and I was crying. Every time I saw anything on those little cartoons, I'd end up crying. And the bit where they just covered him in the blankie and he went to sleep, I was sobbing, literally sobbing. And you do get so invested. Yeah.
Those strips went down so well in schools when I was giving schools talks. Kids reacted to those in a big way, and adults as well, because it's just nice.
I think the thing is, the team behind that really figured out how to get people involved. And you don't. The Hayabusa 2 mission, that was the way that Japan handled that and did their briefings on it was brilliant. They were actually having everything set up in advance. They had people looking, trying to help them find the landing sites. The same with Osiris Rex. The best way to guarantee you're going to be able to do a mission like this again and get the appropriations is to have people become involved in the previous missions. So when you're going up, just before you're going up to the powers that dish out the dosh, people are already on your side. People want the mission to go ahead. There's a lot of pressure. Oh, we lost him again.
Yeah, I think I was just...
Come back, Stuart. The technology gods are trying to defeat us. They are not going to win.
It's just the charge on the phone. It's not used to talking for so long on this phone. So.
Yeah, there's technology issues here as well, I'm being told. But
okay.
I think we're doing such a tune on your handsets. We better start wrapping up, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
So anyway, if you had a couple of billion quid, what mission would you like to see done?
Me personally, landing me on Mars. Yeah, me and Jess, my cat, in a rocket going to Mars, grab some rocks, see some sightseeing, and come back home again. Yeah, that'd be be nice to do that.
And of course, hopefully there'll be a nice comet go by for you to observe from the Martian surface.
Yeah. But being realistic, I'd like to actually have a mission to a comet and orbit it for a long time, and actually bring some samples back as well.
I would love to go to 29p. Because I think, given the fact this is so regularly an outburst and it's pristine material, we could learn a lot about comets. I believe. SW1, you may be the next one to be visited. I hope. Well, if Richard Miles has his way, it would definitely happen.
Yeah, definitely. Certainly an interesting comet.
Oh yes. Actually, it's not.
But I would take another Hale-Bopp in the sky. I think we really overdue one of those. I think the impact that would have now on astronomy would be incredible. And now people are so clued up about the night sky, the Brian Cox effect, etc.
Yeah.
The world would just stop. I mean, everybody would see it, and it would.
I was going to say, it'd be even better if it was a daylight comet too.
We'll take that, yeah. I mean, Ison promised a lot, and then
fizzled.
The Voldemort of comets, he who shall not be named.
I love it, the Voldemort of comets. I love that. I have to use that one.
But I was all set for that, and then on that day, it rounded the sun. Just, well, you. But it can't be long, surely. I mean, come on, we're long overdue something. There's a real drought now. You look at the old books; they had a bright comet every 3 or 4 years.
Yes.
That great atlas of comets. So, like, most got bored with them, but we're just enough's enough.
Yeah. I can't imagine being bored with comets, to be honest.
I tend to think it's going to be a real shame that the next apparition of Halley's Comet is going to be even worse than 86. But I should still be out there imaging. I'd love to get that image. Probably before I'm dead the next day, but that's fine by me. I think what we're going to have to do, folks, I'm just calling Stuart back right now.
Hi.
And he's back. I think this is the technical saying it's time to wrap the show up. So,
yeah,
Stuart, it's been great having you. Even with all the technological issues we faced, we still managed to do it.
We'll find the best way of doing it next time.
Absolutely.
A more reliable phone.
Yes. So, thanks for coming. We hope to have you back at a later date, and we can talk about this more.
Yep, I'll send you some photos.
Brilliant, please do, because I'm going to put them into the video of the show.
Yeah.
So there'll just be the brief one of me, there'll be one of Mary, there'll be the Comet Watch logo, and the rest of them going throughout the whole show will be your pictures, and just 5 seconds of the Comet Watch logo. How about that?
Excellent. I'll send you those.
Brilliant. So it's good night from me. It's good night from him. We've got to do this the right way.
And good night from me. And happy Christmas, everybody.
Yep. Happy Christmas, everybody listening.
Good night, everyone, and have a really
Bye-bye.
happy season. Bye-bye.
Bye.